And welcome into Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional. He is Tim Stearns, CFP, founder at TJ Stearns Inc., author of the book Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. Tim, always a pleasure having you here on the program.
Hey, Peter, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, Tim. And there is a lot to solve for when you are talking about the modern retirement riddle. Book does a good job of summing up some of the biggest problems and issues that we have and have to solve for, and then telling us how to kind of rethink these problems to address them in a way that we can build lasting financial and retirement confidence, even in today's uncertain and unconfident world.
Well, I think market volatility is really front of mind for a lot of baby boomers out there that don't have pensions, or even if they have a pension, just trying to make the ends meet, and I think people are very concerned out there and they're very nervous about the, political world, that affects the stock market world and on we go. So that's why we are just here to help people. If they want to give us a call, if they have over $500,000 worth of assets, we're happy to get the book into their hands. The book has been read by a lot of different people that are thinking of retiring or they have retired. And, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about, oh, okay, that's how that works, that type of stuff. So I'd love to get that in their hands. Again, if they have over $500,000 worth of assets, give us a call and we'll get that book to you.
800-640-2256. That is 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256, the number to reach Tim Stearns, CFP, and request your copy of Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. Again, 800-640-2256. Tim, this generation, by and large, has amassed significantly more personal wealth than any generation before it. I mean, we are seeing everyday 401k millionaires, retirement account millionaires on a regular basis. And yet still this generation, despite that significantly larger personal wealth than the previous generation, seems to be more uncertain about the outlook for retirement than ever before. More doubt and worry and concern of, do I have enough? How can I make this money last? And market volatility is one of the big reasons why we have that concern, but not the only one.
Well, first of all, like your father, for these baby boomers, their parents, I'll say, have had a pretty good run in retirement. 1980 through 1999 were some great years. The market just kept going up. What we've had the last 23 years is kind of a, up and down yo-yo effect with the market, which is going to give anyone pause if they're, done working and they're trying to make ends meet. So, that's one of the things. The other big thing is that I'm seeing is that people don't really have a plan. So we want to cover the three biggest expenses in retirement, by having a written income plan that kind of puts it into concrete, what you're going to be paying in taxes, what you're going to be paying in expenses, to live, and obviously budgeting for those good things, right? Like taking that trip you never got to do. But having a written income plan, I can't say enough about how important that is.
Right. Well, if we have doubt and worry about, do I have enough and how can I make my money last, Tim, we certainly would be benefited by examining, well, what are we going to be spending our money on in retirement? What are our largest expenses and how can we plan to control them, minimize them, reduce, or in some cases, even potentially eliminate them? So going over this report today as we continue on what you've called the Countdown to Retirement, a series of reports that you have created and made available for the listeners to the radio program, for the viewers to the podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like that series of reports, including the 9 critical risks to address, the 10 steps to prepare for retirement, the 8 moments to move your money, there are a number of great resources that we have covered here over the previous several weeks and months on the program that Tim Stearns does have available to you. Simply pick up the phone. That's in addition to the offer for the book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, is the guides, the series of guides, the Countdown to Retirement. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, adding it all up, retirement can be pretty expensive. So where we can control those expenses, we should take those proactive steps.
Right. So having a plan is part of it. When we're talking to people about a plan, we'll ask them, what do you need to live on? And they'll say, well, I need to live on X amount. And we'll ask them, is that gross or is that net? What do you mean? Well, the gross would be not including taxes. So what is the number one expense? I always ask my classes this in retirement. And we say it's taxes. Most of us have built a tax time bomb, we call it. Where you're sitting there going, wow, I've never paid taxes on this $1 million I have for retirement. So the IRS doesn't forget about you when you're retired. They're still going to take their pound of flesh, as they say. So we need to figure that out. When doing a written income plan, you definitely want to put taxes in there because your partner for life, the IRS, has an idea for your money, and I know you do as well. So make sure you know that the biggest expense in taxes, known expense that is going to be taxes.
Tim, how can we quantify how much we might owe in taxes? And you can take that however you would like in a given year, on each given withdrawal, or over the course of retirement. Like how can we plan and sort of assess and address that?
Well, I mean, obviously we have a CPA on staff, so that makes it kind of easy when we're working with our new clients, kind of figure out where their tax breaks are going to be and where they're not going to be. But he'll also tell you this, is that most accountants, are historians. They're going to tell you what happened last year and, what you need to pay taxes on, that type of thing. One of the things that we try to talk to people about while doing an income allocation plan is, how about mitigating taxes? How about getting ahead of it? It's going to be there. So why wouldn't you right now, when income taxes are so low than they've been in over 100 years, that you can sit here and look at some opportunities for Roth conversions and that type of thing, where what you're going to be paying taxes. So why not get ahead of it?
And again, these are your largest expenses in retirement. Number one on the list, taxes, likely your largest known expense. Tim, when you run those reports for individuals, a lot of times, I mean, the numbers are just staggering if they simply choose to defer and default to the IRS's plan. The IRS's plan for our retirement dollars is probably not the plan that is laid out with our best interest in mind, nor minimizing the amount that we will pay in taxes.
Well, let's take a look at that. My classes, I am shocked to see all these educated people that don't really know about the Secure Act. And the Secure Act, I had a guy talk to me in the office the other day. And he said, I got to start taking money out when I'm 70 and a half. I said, no, it's actually 73 now. What are you talking about? And I explained to him what the Secure Act is. The Secure Act basically says is right now you have to take money out at age 73. The Secure Act 2.0 also is moving that up to age 75 by 2033. And that sounds great, right? You don't have to take taxes out. Well, guess what? Someone in your family is going to pay those taxes. And the new rules say that you cannot stretch an IRA like we were used to be able to if I'm a beneficiary of an IRA. So I'm going to have to drain that account within 10 years. Think about the taxation that will happen then. And I've had people say, well, my little Johnny, he'll wait the whole 10 years. Little Johnny didn't put that money away over 30 something years of a career, and he might want to just go out and buy that new car, and you're not here to tell him no. So I have an inkling here that it makes sense to start looking at Roth conversions so that at least someone in the family is getting ahead of it. And by mitigating taxes when you're alive, you're going to help your heirs.
And Tim, with that report that you can run that quantifies that tax bill and liability, oftentimes by looking and examining those strategies that report can pinpoint, that can help to identify, that bill is reduced significantly. I mean, sometimes you're talking about more than 50% off on the likely tax bill that we would pay over our lifetime and from our retirement accounts.
To your point, one of the exercises we do in class is show people $500,000 in an IRA account and a person living to age 90, which my mom's going to be 94 in December. So this is a real thing for a lot of people. By living to 90, this person would pay about 2/3 of that money, about $300,000 of the $500,000 towards taxes, whether it's them them reinvesting it or their heirs, someone is going to pay the piper, as they say. So why not get ahead of it and try to look at the ability to cut down on your taxes, at least for your family's sake.
Again, we are talking with Tim Stearns, CFP, Chicagoland Certified Financial Planning Professional, your resource, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to get that protect and grow written retirement plan, if you would like to have that retirement account tax analysis so you can see your numbers side by side, strategies to reduce and control your largest known expense in retirement, taxes, pick up the phone right now and give a call to TJ Stearns Inc. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Office conveniently located in Arlington Heights, but of course, teaching courses and classes throughout the Chicagoland area and always available virtually through the ease and convenience of technology, whether you want that individual specific one-on-one conversation or would like to attend one of the courses and classes that Tim Stearns instructs on retirement. You can do so virtually as well. And an additional opportunity on today's program, if you are one of the first 10 callers with at least 500,000 saved for retirement, a copy of Tim Stearns CFP's newest book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, and or the Countdown to Retirement course and series of guides. These are great resources, ladies and gentlemen. Any and all of the above, all you got to do is pick up the phone and give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Or you can skip the phone call, always available online at tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com, and that's Stearns like Earns, EARNS, tjstearns.com. Tim, we move on in our report, the 3 biggest expenses in retirement and how to plan to control them. This guide that you make available to the listeners and viewers. Number 2 on here is our largest potential expense. So we go from taxes, our largest known expense, to number 2, our largest potential expense. And I heard it put the other day that this expense has the potential to cost you as much or more than your house in some cases.
Well, yeah, and you're talking about healthcare, and according to a recent study, the average healthy 65-year-old couple entering retirement can spend up to about $662,000 in their lifetime over the course of retirement. So you want to make a look at that and make sure that you understand what is entailing there,
specifically on healthcare expenses.
Exactly, just healthcare. This is not long-term care. So,
and this is not regular living either. That number, again, just healthcare expenses.
Right. So when you're looking at over the time what you're going to be paying, you need to understand that. That's why we're happy to help people during open enrollments for Medicare. We meet with our clients every year to make sure that they're on the right plan, so that they're not coming out of pocket for things that they didn't realize that they're going to have to pay for. Doctors hop in and out of different networks. These are the things that give us pause. And, we pass this on to our clients, like, get in here, let's talk, let's take a look at where your doctor is, in your network. Great. It's going to help you hopefully cut down on those fees. But if they're not, then we need to take a look at other things. Do you do an advantage plan? Do you do this plan? Do you do that? Year to year, it changes. So you want to make sure you're understanding where the landscape is and where you are.
Again, Tim, this is like the elephant in the room, right? The 800-pound gorilla that nobody has a fantastic way to address. So what do we do here? I mean, if we don't want to leave ourselves, our spouses, our family, our loved ones, our nest egg and wealth that we've accumulated itself, exposed to these potential costs that can be catastrophic, what steps do we take here?
Well, one of them I would say is to look at long-term care benefits out there. Not long-term care standalones. Those are pretty passé. And most baby boomers shake their head because they've seen their parents pay a lot of money into something that no one ever got money out of. But I'm a big believer in the hybrid life insurance ones that have long-term care components to it. 7 out of 10 Americans are going to need long-term care, and 9 out of 10 of them haven't done anything about it. That would give me pause if I'm going into retirement, not knowing that the biggest risk I have is that I'm going to need that, and I don't have the insurance. One of the things we say to people in class is, you have like a 1 in 1,000th chance that your home will burn down in your lifetime, and you have home insurance. But we have a 7 out of 10 chance that we're going to need long-term care, and we don't even take a look at it and kick the tires and kind of try to solve the problem. That's part of the modern retirement riddle that we're trying to help people with that book.
Tim, a lot of times it's not the spouse that has the healthcare situation that ultimately ends up suffering alone. It is the healthy spouse that provides the care, that uses the assets and resources in order to provide that care, that also suffers not only along with them, but long after the fact in some cases.
Oh, we're seeing people, unfortunately, some of our clients are going through this, and I want to make sure people understand, to your point, it's not just the patient, the other person, it's physically, it's mentally draining. It's all the above, and they are just beat up by the time they're done with it. I had a client whose husband passed away years ago, and I thought she would be next. Seeing her the way she looked, she rebounded, thankfully. But like she'd be darned that if she was going to put him in a home, and it beat her up, like I say, physically and mentally, to the point where, kids were coming over and spending nights and that type of thing. I mean, get ahead of it. At least say, yeah, we tried to get it and one of us couldn't get insured. I understand that, but at least go look into these things. Give us a call if you're interested in trying to make sure that you pass on the risk to another company of long-term care.
Well, again, 800-640-2256 if you'd like this report, if you'd like the book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, if you'd like that one-on-one, if you'd like the tax analysis, the strategies to identify, to quantify, and to control the tax bill on your retirement accounts, if you would like to talk about what is our largest potential expense in retirement, the cost of healthcare and what it can do, and then how to prevent or protect against it, pick up the phone and give a call to TJ Stearns Inc. and Tim Stearns, CFP, Chicagoland's certified financial planner, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, this final one has been called the silent thief.
Yep.
Hasn't been so silent the last couple years. What are your thoughts on inflation?
When I bring this inflation up in our classrooms, I mean, 5 years ago, people just kind of go, oh, yeah, we've heard about inflation. We understand that. Well, when it got up to 9%, they were paying attention. When you see stuff grow by that exorbitant amount of the cost of doing things. So people are very, very aware of inflation, if not sick of hearing about it. And I'll ask them, what does the Federal Reserve want inflation to be? And now they know the number. They'll say 2%. I'll say, did they get it right? Not really. We're at what, 3.7% right now. So that's something that, they want it to be at 2%. They're 1.7% off. That adds up after a while. So one of the things when you're doing an income allocation plan that we build into there is an inflation component. And that's important. That's a pain point for some people. You show them examples of, for example, what I asked people in class, what did gas cost when you got your driver's license? And most of them are, 50 cents, under $1 though. And now I say, what has inflation done to your gas price? Oh my gosh, it gets them going, right? So we need to be aware of the silent thief.
Again, Tim, these are the 3 biggest expenses in retirement, and the report helps to detail how to plan to control them, but it does take careful, specific, individual planning, which is why you offer the opportunity to look over somebody's forecast, their projections, their retirement accounts, and make sure that they have a true plan, a plan in place that helps to quantify the largest known expense, taxes, that helps to identify the largest potential expense, healthcare, and to make sure that their plan addresses the silent thief of inflation. All of these are really necessary in order for us to have confidence that we have enough and that we can make our money last, not only our money, but our quality of life, our financial confidence and lifestyle last through retirement.
Peter, I couldn't say more about having a plan. Not having a plan is having a plan. I'm trying to wing it through retirement. I don't understand that. What I would want to do is want to know what my costs are going to be, what I have to do that. Do I have to go back to work at least part time? Can I shut it down and just enjoy myself? What is it? I want to know what the future looks like as best as I can. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a lot better than not having a plan whatsoever.
Well, again, if you would like the copy of this report, which is just one in a series of reports, the Countdown to Retirement. This is number 3 in the countdown list, the 3 biggest expenses in retirement and how to plan to control them. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. If you would like a copy of the book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle by author Tim Stearns, CFP, you can pick up the phone now and give a call. Again, the number 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, you offer the opportunity for a complimentary individual review. It's going to go over a lot of information, going to help people get a much deeper, better understanding of their money, their investments, their accounts, and what job each and every dollar is doing to help them better and improve their financial future and outlook. Can you describe that process? What can somebody expect when they give you a call to try to get that review and evaluation, that strategy session, and get that plan together?
I mean, I would tell them that we're going to give them a robust plan, that's dynamic and that will change with the times that are ahead. And what do I mean by that? Well, I want to know exactly what kind of assets they have, what their expenses are. What does Social Security look like? Have you turned it on? What does Medicare look like for you if you're already on that? These are the things that are going to be costing you money, and making sure that we understand exactly what the budget looks like. Usually what we see is that one spouse kind of knows what's going on, the other one doesn't. By doing a financial plan with us, I find that it gets all hands on deck, and people are very happy to understand that if something happens to them, then they can give us a call and the show goes on, right? One of the things I cracked me up the other day is that we had a couple in here and they said, we have a Tim Stearns file. And I said, what does that mean? They said, if the stuff hits the fan, call Tim Stearns. He knows where everything is and not what our plan is. So that made me feel pretty good, because now they know their answers and they know exactly what to do if something, God forbid, happens to both of them or even one of them. Maybe one of them has, some cognitive difficulties. So we're always making sure that their plan is dynamic and moving with them, because, life happens.
And it sounds to me very different than what the status quo conversation or relationship with an advisor might be. Mm-hmm. In that when the stuff hits the fan file, right? If you call that relationship and say, hey, things have gone wrong, what do I need to know? Well, we've got these 4 mutual funds and they've averaged a rate of return of 5 to 8% over the last 10 years. That's not going to give us a lot of information on what we need to do, what the steps to take are. But I feel like that's the information that most people get in their financial relationship. And that's about the extent of it, not all of those other additional important things that you mentioned.
What I'm seeing from most other companies is just financial advisement, where they're just looking at their portfolio. I mean, there's so many other things out there that are going to affect you during retirement, long-term care, taxes, inflation. I mean, I see these guys telling them, oh, we're going to average, 5 to 8% every single year. Come on. Who's ever done that? So, we have to be more real when we're doing our planning. We kind of, we try to under promise, over perform, and make a very conservative income allocation plan, showing them, that, yeah, you can go do that, trip that you've always wanted to do, because you have money to pay for if the market goes down, we're covering those things. Having some fully engaged advisors with you every step of the way is so important.
Tim, finally, you wanted to address the fact and mention that the interest rates that are available right now today, very different than they were just 2 years ago, and the highest that they've been for more than 15 years, actually allowing many savers and investors to get a higher rate of return or a higher rate of income generation than what they thought possible, or even than what the market has produced for them over the last 15 years or so.
Yeah, Peter, with rates being higher than I've ever seen them really in my career, and I've been in the business 29 years, there's some really great opportunities on there. Money markets, bonds, what have you, are great out there. We've done a lot of that with our dynamic investing. And then one other thing I'll mention is that we're seeing a lot of people come in to talk to us because they've got annuities that they bought over 3 to 4 years ago, and the interest rates are so bad that they're looking to do something different. And we'll do an audit, and look at the fee audit and look at how that has performed and what is out there. We've seen us be able to replace annuities for income that is better today than it was 4 years ago. And they don't have to put money away. I'm saying they can turn on money right now for their payments. So we've seen that a lot from our classes and our radio show as well.
Well, if you have any interest in taking advantage of these now higher interest and income rates, pick up the phone, give Tim Stern, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Always a great opportunity to do a little bit better and a little bit more and work a little harder with your money, ladies and gentlemen. So take advantage of the opportunity now to take a look at these now higher interest and income rates. 800-640-2256, the number to call. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, it is always a pleasure joining you here on Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement. Thank you for being the resource for proactive planners, savers, and investors.
Peter, thanks for having me, and give us a call if you'd like to get our book. If you have over $500,000 worth of assets, it'll be worth your read. All right? Thank you.
Tune into Chicagoland Certified Financial Planner Tim Stern's full radio program and visit tjsterns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Securities offered through TJ Stearns, a registered representative of Crown Capital Securities LP, member FINRA SIPC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.